So hi friends, and how are you? Hope you are doing well. So in this video we will learn about the use effect hook. So in the class component, while we need to call an API, then we need a component did bound method, and there are multiple methods inside the class component. So in that methods are not available in our functional component. So inside the functional component, use effect hook used to perform the side effects in your functional component. Side effects means like fetching the data from the API and directly updating to the DOM. Like how can we can fetch the data and how can maintain our states into the functional component. So use effect hook used to perform the side effects into our functional component. So while we are using the use effect hook, while we are using the use effect hook accept two argument. First is the function, that is a callback function, and second is the dependency array. So like this is the example. So this is the callback function and this is the dependency injection. So if we dependency injections, if we didn't pass the dependency injections, it means that your component will re-render every time. If we if the dependency array like a blank, so it means that your component will render only once. And if there are any state value, like anything, there may be state value, it means then when your state will change, then your this use effect hook will work. So now let's see in the practical exam. So I already created this practical exam, so let's go into the code section. So I already create this use effect file here. So inside the use effect file, I just created two states here. First is data states. So data states are used to get the data from this API, and while we are hit this API, I'm copy this one, and we are able to /1. So this is the dummy API. So I'm getting the ports, as /1 means this is the first API. If we press 2, then second object from the API will return, and if I press 3, then third data will return. So I create a state for the object here. So initially this state is empty, and I also create another state, that is API value. So initially I set the API value to 1. So now I use this use effect hook. So inside the use effect hook, I just console, I'm getting the data for, and I will console this API. So initially we will getting data for the first object, and then I'm calling this API, and this API value is dynamically. So initially this is 1, so we can change the API value, and then we are able to get our data according to the API value, and then we are getting the response from the API. And then I'm this set data method I'm using here. We already discussed about the use state hook. So this set method is responsible for updating the data inside the data state. So I'm getting the response from the API, then data is coming inside the response dot data. So if you call this API, so your response will come into the data. So I'm getting the response dot data, so I'm able to get this response into our API. Then I'm setting this response data into our this data, and then I am mapping, I am displaying our data from data to this data dot title coming from title and body. We can use any this is the this object is coming from the API, so we can type, we can print ID, title, user ID, or body, anything. We can use anything. So I'm just displaying title, and second I'm just displaying the API value. So initially API value is 1, and I'm getting the response from the API for the API value 1. And then when I click on this, I create a button here. So when I click on this button, then I set API value method is call, and then I'm increment the value for this set API value. So initially API value is 1, so I'm updating to +1. So like when I click on this button, so I then I'm updating API value 1 to 2, and then again click, then 2 to 3, I'm incrementing by 1. So and then like this like if I blank this API value here, so like now I'm using this API, the dependency array is blank. So what happened now, so that we can check. So initially we are displaying the data, API.title, data.title I am displaying. So this title is coming from this API. So what 1, initially we are calling for the 1. So this result, this data we are displaying into our React component. So this is the React.title, this is displaying into our component here. So what happen if I click on this button, so it like get next API data. What happen, I'm clicking on this button, but we are able to get this count value, this like API value is updating, but we are not getting the result as we accepted. Like when I click on this button, it means that I want to get data for this API object. Like I want this this object should be displayed here. But now I'm clicking on this button, we are able to update the state, but our API is not calling. Why? Because of this, that if we because of this like dependency injection is blank. It means that this method is calling only once. So this method, like we are calling this API, but now dependency array our dependency array is blank. That's why this method is calling only once. So how can I how can I call the API when I click on this button? So when I want that when I click on this button, I want that API should be called. Like when I click on this button, like now 16, so API should be like 17. So then this title, 17. Then this title should be displayed into our component. So now how can I do that? I want this this API should be called when the API value like this state will API state will change, then this API will code. So what happen, like I can do that, I'm adding a dependency array like this. I'm adding this API value into our dependency array. So now what happen, if this API value, this state will change, then this method will call against, and what I am this API value I am calling dynamically. So when I click on this button, so API value incremented by 1, and this will automatically call our API increment by 1, and this method is called because of dependency injection, not blank. We are putting the API value here. So when this value API value will change, then this hooks will run, and we are getting the response according to our API value, and then we are setting the data into our set data, and then we are displaying our data from the data to into our component. So now what happen if I run this one? So initially we are getting the response from the API 1 and displaying the title from the API 1. So API 1, so this title is displaying into our component, and when I click on this button, now what happen, API value is changed now. So and now API we are getting data for 2, and if I check here API value 2, so now this is the title that coming from the API are displaying here, and again I click on this button, now we are getting the data for 3, and we can check like 3, and like this title is displaying into our component. So this is the use effect hook. So we can learn like we can pass the callback function into our React hook, and second is dependency array. So if the dependency array will be blank, it means that your this hooks will run only once. And if you pass some value here like API value or anything, like we can pass data or anything boolean value, maybe that when I click on this button, or so like you can pass any value here. So if the value of this dependency array will change, it means that you need to this useEffect method will call this this method again. And then we are like we can call API accordingly, and then we can set the response, and we can display our data inside our component. So this is the useEffect, about the useEffect hook. So please like and subscribe if you like my channel, if you like this video, and if you have any doubts, you can comment to me, so that I can solve your issue. And if you want to, I will also upload this code into our YouTube video channel, so you can take the pull from the GitHub, and you can understand the code. And if you face any of the issue, so please let me know, so that I can help you. Thank you everyone.